Hello everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 419. And today we're going to be talking about the 60-ton Matador, the bull rider, wrangler, however you want to call it. It's a 464 clan mech. Yep, it has 12 double heat sinks. It has 12 tons of slab armor, standard for 192 points. Does not come with an XL engine. Yep, at 464, you have a pretty bog standard looking mech. Nothing special about it, no extra cost to it. Doesn't have endosteel, it doesn't have ferrofibrous, doesn't have XL engine. So when you look at it from a production aspect, yeah, it's probably saving a little bit of money. And just my perusal of it and that experience is like it's pretty much a second line mech that was designed before the Omnis really started taking effect. So yeah, it's a bit aged in some aspects, but decent in others, just from not having all the extras on it. All right, so what do we have for weapons on board? We have 2 machine guns in the right arm, 2 machine guns in the left arm, with a half ton of ammo, which is logical. You got 4 of them. That's 25 turns of just banging away with the machine guns if they're in range. That's more than enough for any type of engagement. So that's in the right torso. We have a Streak 6 in the right torso with a ton of ammunition. And then we have a Streak 4 in the head. It's almost kind of reminds me in some ways of the Wolverine. And then we have a ton of ammo in the right torso. So you got 2 weapon systems. You got a Streak 6 and a Streak 4. Makes 0 sense to me why you would have 2 different weapon systems like that. And then you have 2 ER medium lasers in the left torso. All right. 2 medium or small pulse lasers in the center torso. And then we have 3 medium pulse lasers in the left arm. And then in the right legs and the left legs, we have 2 jump jets each. All right. So, like I said, or hinted at, this is pretty much was originally designed to be a frontline mech, but with the advent of the Omnis, it's been outclassed. Looking at mechs that can dish out a lot of damage really quickly at ranges. This one has an issue of, when you look at it, the longest range weapon system on board is what? Let's see, 12? Yeah. So, yeah, it does suffer from that, and I guess ER medium lasers, sorry, you got those 2 that go out to 15, which is similar to the Inner Sphere large laser for damage output in range. So, nothing really wrong with that. When you look at what the role of this mech is, you got streaks, you got machine guns, small pulse lasers. Yeah, this thing is designed to kill infantry. It's like, and what do you usually see this type of mech role is like, if you're going to be in a city fight, insurgency, you're going to want something of this nature to just mow down infantry. If you're using it as a security mech or a base, works pretty decently. That's what you want. Doesn't necessarily have to be fighting at longer ranges. And being a 464, it can handle elementals pretty decently, can keep up with them, or get away from them. It has the speed to at least get away for the most part and keep them at range. And once their little SRMs are gone, it's like, oh, we just sit back and at our leisure and mow you down. And if it's regular straight leg infantry, they go in there and mow down a platoon at a time. It's like, yep, that one's gone. Move on to the next one. Even though I think it might have been better to have like a flamer too. Hey, I love flamers. I'll never deny that a flamer can be very useful in all circumstances. You can burn down infantry, you can light fires, like burn them out of the building if necessary, or cause heat on a mech, or just do damage for that matter. You know, and for the cost of like an inner sphere machine gun. And you don't have to worry about it blowing up from the ammo. Alright, speaking of blowing up from ammo, this mech does have one big issue. You got 3 tons of ammo in the right torso amongst 5 spots. So, yeah, you got roughly a 60% chance of hitting ammo right off the bat if you get a crit in that area. So, it's going to be bad on the pilot, even though it's inner sphere, not an inner sphere, but a clan mech. Yeah, you got the built-in case. So, yeah, you got... it's not going to cascade out everywhere else, but you're going to lose 3 weapon systems with 1 ammo hit. You know, the other ones are all going to be gone too. So then you're just carrying around some worthless weight. I'd almost had considered moving some of the ammo to the other torso just to not have to worry about it. Like the SRM4 ammo go into the left torso. So you're not losing everything in one shot. All right. So that's just the observation I have. But overall, not bad for what the mech comes in at and what it's useful for. And it's at 2,000 battle value. It can be shoehorned into a force if necessary. If you want to go into a large stand-up battle or go into a city fight, you might consider bringing one of these, especially if you're fighting against combined arms. I can see taking one just for the fact that go in and rooting out infantry. And the other guy that's playing on the other side, he has a bunch of infantry, seeing one of these guys come along, you're like, oh gosh, do we keep moving our infantry away from this thing? Because it can really handle them pretty decently and just start rooting them out. Now, if it's taking on another mech, it can dish out some severe amount of damage pretty quickly too. Now, the only drawback is you got 12 double heat sinks. You can dissipate 24. Now, if you jump, that leaves you with 20 to play with. If you run, that's 22. Now, if you fire the 3 medium pulse lasers and the 2 ER medium lasers, you're looking at 22 right there. If you run, that's 24. You're good. You're going to be running cool. And then, to be honest, I'm always going to be always looking at firing the medium pulse lasers when they're ranged, just to the fact that they're the ones that are going to be hitting they got the best shot of hitting. So why not bang away with those? Then you just have to look at, do I want to fire the other weapon systems? So when you get in a little closer, and then it comes down to, do I want to swap out firing the 2 ER medium lasers and swap them for the 2 streaks? And being streaks, if they lock on and fire, okay, that's the added heat. So if you have a really high firing solution, you might look at, okay, I'm firing up 3 pulse lasers, I'm going to fire the 2 ER medium lasers, and I say I need 10s or 12 range with the 2 streaks. You might want to gamble. It's like, I'll see if they do fire. If they don't, it doesn't hurt you any. If they do fire, on the other hand, then you're way up on the heat scale. But then you have to fall back on your jump jets to get you out, because you're obviously going to be, if they both fire and you ran, you're a 7 up on the heat scale, and you got a +1 modifier, or -1, I mean, to your movement. So now you're a 3, 5, 4. So it may be you want to jump the next turn, or just continue moving through the city in the cityscape doing that way. Now, when you get into close range, obviously if you're within 3, you're firing those machine guns. They don't add any heat. I'm just going to throw them down range and see what the heck sticks. It's like, why not? Doesn't cause you any issue other than losing ammo. Okay. And that's what they're for. And then it becomes one of those things where, do I want to fire the 2 small pulse lasers? Yeah, they do 3 damage. They go out to 6. So I'm thinking, it's one of those things where, do I not fire the streak 6, or just keep adding the 2 small pulse lasers just so I can have a better shot at hitting. You know, that's one of those things. And then maybe gamble with the Streak 4. Go that route. That might be your extra heat output. So, yeah, it's like one thing or another. That's what I always look at with streaks is like, okay, do I want to fire these or not? And if it's a really higher fire solution where the odds of them not firing, okay, you can just throw the gamble out there. And if they do, and you're like, okay, I just cooked myself. And I'm one of those individuals that doesn't like to heat up my mechs. I can go up to 4 on the heat scale because that's no issue for you. But after that, then you're looking at, okay, I got to cool off. So that's kind of like how I envision using the Matador shooting at targets. Obviously, if you're with 15 to 12 range, obviously you're going to be firing the 2ER medium lasers because that's your weapon system that can hit within. And then if the pulse lasers are they're going to be at long range, they got a better shot at hitting. So there you go. Use them. And all right, ooh, that's a lot, right? Now, there is another Matador, number 2. This one's a little bit different. Okay, this role of this mech is a little bit on the line of bodyguard for the previous version, or providing a little bit targeting downrange. All right, so this comes in at $17.28 for battle value. Okay, a little bit cheaper, a little less than 300 less. But you come with a targeting computer. All right, good. And that's in the head. You have an ATM-9. That's in the right torso. And the ATM comes with 3 tons of ammo. You got 1 ton of each type. So if you're looking at a target that's at 27 to 18, obviously you can throw the ERs out there. Or even if it's 15 for that matter, or actually if it's 10 or more, you're going to be using the standard or the extended range, depending on how you want to look at it. Obviously, sometimes shooting the extended range, emptying the bays out might be a good way to look at it. Use up all that ammo so you're no longer worried about something blowing up on you. Okay, there's that. Then you have 3 AP Gauss rifles in the right arm. That has 1 ton of ammunition, or 2 tons of ammunition. That is, you got 80 shots potential divided by 3. It's 20-something turns. So, what is that? 26, roughly, something like that. 20. So, that's a lot. And they'll shoot out to 9. They do 3 points of damage, and obviously anti-personnel Gauss rifles. So yeah, they are multi-purpose. So it still has the role of taking out infantry. All right, so it still stays in there, but it was with the ATM, you have something that's able to reach out and touch something. And if you get into close range, obviously with the ATMs, you're going to swap over to the HE version and really start cranking out the damage output with those. So it can do some good amount of damage with the ATM, but eventually the bays will run dry. You got 21 turns of it though, and with the AP Gauss rifles, you're roughly 25, 26 turns, give or take. So you got some good amount of usage out of those 2 weapon systems. Now, it's backed up by 3 medium, heavy medium lasers in the left arm. All right. At least they put a targeting computer on board this thing. 1 ton, obviously, because, the heavy medium lasers, they only shoot out to 9. They do 10 points of damage. Backed up by a targeting computer, you're offsetting that heavy issue. So it's just like a straight up inner sphere medium laser for distance, but you got the benefit of doing twice as much damage. So anytime I see a heavy medium laser backed up by a targeting computer, I'm happy. It's like you're not paying the heavy tax, all right? I don't have a problem then. It's when you give me a heavy medium laser and don't back it up with a targeting computer and like, oh, what the heck? It's like you're shooting me in the foot already before I even fire the darn thing. So But you get the benefit of more damage. It's like, let me tell you, it's like, if you never use heavy lasers, they can dish out a lot of damage. But the heat is an issue. But this thing is backed up by 15 double heat sinks. Okay, so you can dissipate a lot of heat. But with your 3 heavy medium lasers, you're dishing out 21 heat right there. So and you're still a 4.64, so if you run and you fire the 3 heavies, you're at 23. That leaves you 7 left to play with. You can fire the ATM, that leaves you 1, and you can fire the 3 AP Gauss rifles, you're going up 2. So you can run for 2 turns, firing everything, and then you have to start thinking about what I'm not going to be firing. And to be honest, to drop down the 4, it might be not firing. It's hard to say, depending on the range. Obviously, if something moves outside of the range band of the heavy medium lasers, that's a non-starter. You're not firing them. Obviously, you're moving into just firing the ATMs. And obviously, you're going to be cooling off. So it's situational, but it might be one of those things where you continue firing the AP Gauss rifles and maybe high explosive and firing 2 heavy medium lasers to cool off, and then you're right back into it again for 2 more turns. It's like one of those things. You got to really do a balancing act, because I don't like getting hot. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty much it for the Matador, for the 2 different versions that they have. Now, what if, that type of thing. If I was going to design this thing, what would I have done? Well, the first thing I would have done is gave it ferrofibrous armor. All right, that will kick you up to maximum armor of 201 with none left over, which is good. You're at 10.5 tons of armor. Okay, there you go. That's good. So that dropped down 1.5 tons usage for tonnage. That now you can throw things into something else. And what did I do? I kept all the weapon systems the same, except I got rid of the SRM-6 and replaced it with 2 SRM-4s. So now you got 3 SRM-4 streaks with 2 tons of ammo, 1 in each torso. So you got a streak in each torso and still got the 1 in the head. All right. So you still got the 3 medium pulse lasers, you still got the 4 machine guns, and then I put a flamer in there for just, well, giggles, because you know me, I like flamers. So overall, and it's coming in, 1828. So roughly, not bad when it came to looking at the battle value of this thing. Is you look at the prime version is 2,000. All right, so yeah, it's a little bit more than the 100 more than the Matador 2, but pretty decent. I kind of like it. And it still falls into the same role of being a city fighter, for that matter. Now, what else? There was another version. What did I do with it? Maybe it's the 3. There we go. All right. This one I got rid of the 2 small pulse lasers and replaced it with a ER large laser. Did the same thing, still kept the armor the same. It's got ferrofiber, it's got 192 points, 10 tons. So you want that route. Now, you got 4 machine guns, 3 medium pulse lasers, an ER medium laser, 3 streak 4s, and then you have an ER large for your extended range capability. So, yeah. And then you have 12 double heat sinks. Pretty much took the same original mech and just kind of did some swapping around to it. Just to give it some long range capable damage. That's 10, goes out to 25. Not bad. And then when you get into range with the ER medium laser range, obviously you can throw those 2 in. along with the large, play around and bang it away. And then when you get in real close, it's streak and pulse laser time. You know, go that route. Most definitely. So with 3 streaks, that's 9. Firing the 3 pulse lasers, that kicks you up to 21, leaving you 3 left over. You know, that you can jump 4 turns and only go up once, 1 point at a time. Or you can throw in a ER medium laser into the mix and then go up by 4 if you go that route. So that's pretty much how I envision using that mech. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the Matador. Not a bad mech for what it can do. It's definitely a bodyguard, city fighter, or second line defensive mech. It is what it is. It's just a mech that's kind of been outstripped by time. I guarantee you when it first came out in its early days, it would have been a decent mech. It would have been like, oh, that's pretty powerful. And then when the Omnis come along, oh, yeah, it's like, okay. It's like, it is what it is. So that's it. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Elcrex out.